Okay, just looking at these photographs, we have 4 photographs, all taken with a 100-400mm lens. Now, if we look at them, we can see what I'm going to create is a panorama, but just look at the pictures. This one is just randomly took, handheld, no tripod. The second one here is again handheld, and this one in the bottom corner is even zoomed in a little bit more than this image on the left. So we have got a real problem in the fact that we've got different exposures, different images to merge together. So how do we merge them? So we go to editing and we go down to merge to panorama in Photoshop. Now you can't do this in Lightroom, it simply wouldn't do it. It's not powerful enough. We are creating 2 rows, so that is the difference to a normal panorama. So we look at it, we've got the files that we want there, we make sure that it's set to auto on the left hand side, and basically all we need to do is to click on OK. Now I'm going to cancel it in this case because I've already done it. And the thing is, it does take a long time to do that. So if you've got quite a slow PC, you're going to struggle. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to straighten the image. So I've clicked on the crop tool and I'm going to use the straighten tool. So when we click on crop and I've zoomed in, you'll see, and when I click on straighten, I'm going to straighten using this bar across the top, and that will level the shot to the building. So when I let go, the shot will level up. And it does take quite a while because what I'm working with here is 4 images that have 30 megapixel in size. So it's taken on a EOS R camera, Canon camera, and that produces 30 megapixel images. So there's a lot of power required to be able to do this. And there we've got the image. Now you can see that's zoomed in quite a bit there. It's zoomed in at 85%, not 100. So you can see it's a massive file. And we're looking at this in perspective. I'm using a 4K monitor. So if you was using a 1600 resolution monitor, you would actually just be seeing the windows probably there. So it's a massive file. Now that is the crop. Obviously I've got to crop that after and crop off the parts that I don't want. But all I want really is more or less a standard type picture. I'm not looking for the long panorama. I've not used the panorama for that effect. I've used it to use a long lens and to get what I want in the image to create a really nice image. And what I mean by that, if we was using a wide angle lens, you would see a lot of distortion in the building. Now because I've used a long focal length, a 100-400mm in this case, what I'm getting is perfect vertical lines on that building there. I haven't got to edit that or distort the image in any way to try and get that to correct it. And when you do that with a wide angle lens, what you do is you start pulling in the edges of the photographs and causing distortion in other areas when you're correcting the building. Okay, so let's see now how we can correct this part of the building, because as you can see, it's a slightly different colour, and that's because the images are exposed differently. Obviously you would lock the exposure. I've done this just to create an image with lots of different things that would actually cause problems, just to see how well this was handled. So I haven't used a tripod, I've just took random shots and I've just thrown them all together to create the image, and it's handled it remarkable. There's no overlaps that we can see. There may be some slight difference in this area down here, but there's nothing that's majorly distracting. So I'm going to go to the layers and we'll look at the layers. So if I take this one off, you can see how the layers have been First of all, rearrange so they've been moved to line up with each other, and then blended in by using layer masks. Now the beauty of having the layer masks there, and again you can't do this in Lightroom, and you wouldn't create an image like this in Lightroom because it's very rare it will work with stacked layers where you've got a number of columns and a number of rows. You're okay going left to right in most cases in Lightroom, but this would just beat it completely. So because we've got these layer masks, if I look down, this image or this layer, which is here, that's what we're viewing at the moment. I take away that one and I take away that one. You can see that's what we've got on that layer. And what I want to do is to actually, you can see the black area, that's the area on the mask that's actually hiding this part of it, of the image as such. So I want to bring that back in. So to do that, is get a white brush. We got the brush on, we got that. And I'm going to take the opacity up to 100%. And I'm just going to brush over this area just to there, and you can see. And now I've been able to do that because I overlap the images so much. So that's important. If you get that overlap, you can correct things like this. If you hadn't got that overlap and you was right on the edge of something when you created the photos, you're not going to be able to edit it in this way. So always get plenty of overlap on your images. Okay, so we've done that. Now it's a little bit light here, but I don't want to paint over that with this same image at 100%. I'm going to lower the opacity of the brush quite low. So I'm going to bring it down to 16 and I'm just going to paint over this area and just darken that slightly. There we go. Just make sure we're all showing on there. Need to bring that top layer back in. There we go. And then we right click, flatten the image. And there is our completed image there. It's just flattening that down. And this is a massive image. That's why things take so long. And this is even with a powerful PC. That's why I say resize them if you haven't got a powerful PC or Mac, as in my case. So if we zoom in, you can see the detail. This is massive. Now, another big advantage, if I just double click this, that's 100%. And this is on a 4K monitor. So if you've got a smaller size monitor, you would actually be zoomed in probably, you'd be seeing this a third of the size. You'd be zoomed into a window almost. So it's a massive image. And the beauty of that is if I wanted a really high spec print, because it's made up of all these images, you've got more pixels on there. You get a better print, you get a better image. So there's another advantage of using this technique. And you can see I haven't created a panorama. It's not long. We've created the panorama to get basically a normal photographic format, but we've used it to get everything we want using a longer lens and just to create this huge image that's got lots of quality, lots of pixels in there for a perfect print. So lots of advantages. So I think that just about covers everything. That's the end of this tutorial. Thanks a lot.